This episode of World Wellness Education is made possible by a production grant from the Milhorn Law Firm.
We at the Milhorn Law Firm believe that important decisions and planning should not be put on hold. These planning decisions affect not only you, but your children and heirs. My name is Eric Milhorn. I'm one of 7 attorneys here at the Milhorn Law Firm. We've been very fortunate. We've been able to serve the Central Florida area for a period of over 20 years. All the attorneys at the Milhorn Law Firm live in this area and are proud to call this area our home.
The Milhorn Law Firm, the law firm you know and trust.
Hi, I'm Tracy Brosman, co-founder of World Wellness Education, a community forum to educate, encourage, and inspire a better way of life. We commonly face day-to-day challenges of stress, lack of exercise, and poor eating habits. But with the right approach, we can find freedom, wake up each morning feeling healthy, focused, and ready to take on the day. Together, we can make a difference, one story at a time. Many people face health challenges on a daily basis. These health crises can often be debilitating and prevent someone from reaching their life's goals. Our guests today, Mathew Whitlock and John Paul Jackson, have overcome many odds during their young lives. They have inspired me with their stories, and I am thrilled to have them on the show today so that they may inspire many more. Welcome, Matt and John Paul.
Well, thank you for having us.
So thank you both for being here today. I really appreciate it. And let's start, John Paul, with your story a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about your background because I know that you have faced health challenges since you were a baby.
It really began when my family had to come to the truth of we don't know if he's going to make it. And my mom and my dad and pretty much every single person in my family, and even some people that I've never ever met, began to pray for me to stay alive.
And what health challenges were you facing?
One of my lungs collapsed. And it was, I believe it was my right lung that collapsed. And they had to rush me in to the operating room and put me on a machine to breathe for me. And it was the problem with that was it caused, I believe it caused one of my brain to be severely injured, and it caused damage to the central nervous system.
And you were later diagnosed with cerebral palsy, right?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Now, John Paul, I know we've talked a little bit about your history and some of the challenges you faced in talking with you. They didn't expect you to speak or to be able to have a conversation, walk, any of that. Is that correct?
That is correct.
It's amazing, amazing. I want to get to that in a little bit more detail, but Matt, let's talk about your health challenges that you've had to overcome.
Well, my main disability is called dyspraxia.
Okay.
Which affects me in 3 types of areas. Speech, as y'all can tell. The second is fine motor skills, such as handwriting or fasten up a button.
Okay.
The third one is my gross motor skills.
All right.
I guess that makes sense. This basically makes me uncoordinated from head to toe. So I walk unbalanced. So I do all these things that the average kid would not do.
Right. So both of you growing up, I mean, John Paul, you had a lot of surgeries, correct?
Yep.
and I know that your life was in jeopardy at many times.
Yeah.
And both of you have expressed the challenges of growing up. So after you had the surgeries, and we've talked a little bit about physical therapy. I know that you both had extensive physical therapy, and as I was saying before the show, most of us think of physical therapy like we had a shoulder injury and we may go to physical therapy for 3 to 4 weeks, or maybe 6 weeks. Tell me how physical therapy was in your world.
Physical therapy for me was pretty much an everyday occurrence, especially after my legs were reconstructed at the age of 8.
So reconstructed, okay, through surgery, why were your legs reconstructed?
My parents wanted me to have the best ability to walk, and the doctors had suggested that we should start now because he's young. And so we went ahead and we had the surgery. And after the surgery, we went and started going to therapy every single day for 1 full year, which was hard on every single person in my family, I believe. Because in Houston traffic, it's bad. It's bad.
It's bad.
You were both from Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because of that therapy and the years moving up to where I am now, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for that.
So you had physical therapy every day for a year, but did you have other therapy also?
I've had therapy to learn how to write. I've had therapy to learn how to button up a shirt. I've had, therapy for my eyes. I've had just therapy to learn how to do basic things that you would, most kids would have learned at a very
they
early
take for
age.
granted.
Yes.
Tying their shoe.
Tying their shoes.
Zipping up a jacket. Matt, was that the case with you also? Did you have to have therapy for those type of things as well?
You heard of soccer moms,
Yes.
right? Well, I had a speech mom. Every day, my mom would take me to speech, out in school and out of school. So I had the double speech classes.
Wow.
And so, like JP, every day was an appointment. A doctor's appointment, a speech appointment, everything.
Some sort of appointment. And you both had to have therapy for your motor skills?
Yes.
Yep.
And then what about, you're old enough to drive now. Are you able to drive?
Yes.
Okay, so Matt, you have your driver's license?
Yes, I do.
Wonderful. And John Paul?
Well, I don't have the ability to drive, which is, I consider it a gift and a curse, because it's good and bad in all areas. The reason why I say that is because I get to spend more time with my friends and family because they have to come and pick me up.
I was wondering if you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I remember the days of being the chauffeur. Those are that's some good memories there.
Yeah, there are some good memories there. And so I would be able to spend some time with more time with my friends and family. And during my time in Fort Worth, as I went to therapy in Fort Worth, I've had some really cute girls from TCU drive me to therapy on Mondays and Thursdays. So it was fun.
You've enjoyed that.
I enjoyed that.
Well, it's funny because that's one of the ways that you both have inspired me so much, was actually on drives, because we were going to Toastmasters, right? So tell me a little bit about the support, because from just talking with you both, I know that the support that you had throughout your lives has to have played a part.
A major part.
Okay, so let's talk first, because I know support comes in different ways, but let's talk about your families. You've talked a little bit about your moms, And I'm sure they're amazing.
Amazing,
Yes.
amazing.
They are.
So your moms have supported you. What about other family members?
When it comes to other family members, my siblings have been very, very supportive, especially my brother Joel. He has always had my back, and whenever somebody was bullying me, he took care of it, and I never had to worry about it because he's always had my back, and I really appreciate that. And when it comes to my sister, she, when I was just, she'd spend some time, serious time, praying for me. And my little brother Royce, one time we're playing basketball, and I accidentally run my leg into a little sharp area and cut it open, and he tried to doctor it up, but we had to go to the emergency room. It didn't work.
But they've always tried to take good care of you.
They've always had my back, and
That's
I
awesome.
really, really appreciate it. Without their support, I wouldn't be where I am, and the rest of my
and what
family.
about you, Matt?
Well, I would say the same about my brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They are always older than me, like 5 years apart.
Okay.
So one time when I got bullied, my brother John, who's the middle child, actually came down to my school and talked to the bully. So that was like, thank you. But it's, like you said, my brothers has always been there for me.
Do you both feel that if the support had been different, let's say that it was really a lack of support from your families, do you think that it would have made a difference
Yes.
in how much you've been able to accomplish?
Yes.
Oh, huge
Yes.
difference. Just,
So-
I don't know where I would be without them.
So that everybody watching understands truly what you've been able to accomplish, we would think with the challenges that you guys have had to overcome that even making it to high school would be a major accomplishment, right?
Yes.
Graduating from high school.
Oh yeah.
John Paul, let's start with you. Where are you in your education?
My education, I am starting my sophomore year at Beacon College, and I'll tell you what, it is the best school for me. Not only because of the education that I receive, but the climate is good for me because everything is walking distance. If I need to go, get a haircut or go to get other things taken care of, I can just walk and go get it done.
Wow.
And it's very, very simple. It just makes life simpler. And that's why I love Beacon College being in the downtown Leesburg area.
Oh, and Matt, where are you at in your education?
I'm a senior in college. I'm getting my psychology degree in May.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So back to support. How has support in other areas affected both of you and helped you overcome your challenges? The support of the community, we've talked a little bit about your siblings, but community, friends, faith, corporations, how has that made a difference? I know corporations has made a difference in your life, John Paul.
Yes, the two corporations that made a huge impact on my life were Snyder and Apache.
So, and we say that, and people are probably like, corporations, how has that made a difference? How can the support of a corporation help, in a situation like this? So tell us a little bit about that.
When it came to Apache, they considered me as the corporate child. Like,
you weren't their mascot, were you?
well, I wasn't their mascot, but they just made sure I had the best health care.
Wow.
And, it was they were the ones that really took care of me and made sure that I had the best health care.
That's amazing.
So
that's great. And what about community?
Community, what can I say about community?
Indescribable.
Indescribable.
Really?
I mean, it's
you guys like Leesburg?
I love
yes.
it. I think that is one reason why we are so successful, because we know amazing people in Leesburg, and they have been so kind and so generous, and I cannot think of a better way to thank them, but just to say thanks.
Yeah, I'm sure that's all that's needed. So where do you want to go from here? Let's talk a little bit about what are your ultimate goals? Because I've mentioned that you guys are an inspiration to me, and this is part of what you guys want to do with your lives and giving back. That's part of what's inspired me so much.
What I want to do with my life is, it all started when I was in the hospital on the third day. Apache organized a little surprise for me. After the surgery, the durotational osteotomy, they had Clutch, the Eastern Rocket mascot bear, come and visit me in the hospital, and he brought a signed basketball from the entire Eastern Rocket squad, and a jersey, and some shorts. And then a friend of mine also had given me the chance to go to a Eastern Rockets game and meet with Charles Barkley afterwards. And Charles Barkley said to me, you know, I have to go through my surgery, my therapy too, so you have to go through yours. And that's when I realized that I wanted to do something with basketball. And I don't care if it's with a college, a high school, or even the Orlando Magic. But I just want to be somewhere around basketball and become a sports chaplain and help them reach the best potential, because I found an interesting quote, which is very good for every walk of life, from Coach John Wooden, and that is, players with fight never lose the game, they just run out of time. And I've got some fight left in me. So.
Yeah, that's an amazing quote. And I'm sure that you will inspire many basketball players.
I hope so.
Don't hope so, know so, right? So what about you, Matt?
I'm hoping to either work with the elderly,
okay,
families, or my favorite, kids.
Okay.
I've volunteered at 4 different schools, working with kindergarten, the Key School, West Side Elementary in Jacksonville, Texas, the Fine Art School of Leesburg, and it has been a blessing. I'm so passionate about it, and if I would do anything for my life, it would be that.
And what's your favorite thing about working with the kids?
Well, they are so energetic, which makes me get out of bed and do something with my life.
Right.
You know, my cousin Karen taught me this. You make a living by what you get. You make a life by what you give. If I can give back to the community in which I live in, then my job will be done. And I think for me, teaching kids is my way of giving back to a community that has done so much for me.
That's wonderful.
So.
And we talk a little bit before the show, and I want to talk a little bit about it here, about the challenges that somebody like I would have. I don't have any health issues, knock on wood, that's great. But some mornings just don't want to get out of bed, maybe not want to go and work out or not want to eat right or whatever it is, whining and complaining. What do you guys say about something like that? What do you say about the word can't?
Well, you know, life is what you make it, and it's a choice. You can choose to be depressed, you can choose to be happy. I choose to be happy. I choose to have a grateful attitude all day, any day. And when people say, oh, I can't do something, well, I turn around and say, look at me. I got a list full of problems, and I'm not giving up.
Right. You get up every day and you work hard at it.
You know, get up every day, do what you need to, and that's all it is to it.
Yeah, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, John Paul?
You can do whatever you set your mind to. It is really up to you. If you sit there and say to yourself, you know, I'm not gonna do it because I have these problems, then you're not gonna achieve something. And somebody might say to you, if somebody says to you, you can do it, but you don't want to do it because of these certain issues, you might be missing out on a great opportunity to help somebody else.
Can you give us an example of that?
Let's say this, I don't have the motor skills that most athletes do. And I never was the best basketball player at my school. In fact, I was probably one of the, I was pretty much a bench warmer most of the time because my team wanted to win games, and I understand that, and I wanted to win games more than anybody. But no matter what the situation was, no matter what I was going through, I always put my team first. I always wanted to say to myself, you know, because you did this, your team won. So you're part of that. No matter if you didn't shoot a three-pointer or you didn't shoot the free throw, you're still a part of it. And I don't ever, I mean, I worked out, I went into the gym every single day.
Every day.
Every day. I mean, there was one point in my senior year where I worked out 3 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I just started, I said to myself, I'm going to get one shot. One shot is all I'm going to need. And I made that shot my senior year, right in front of the entire school. And it was very interesting because when it came down to, I wanted it. But not only did I want it, but one of my friends said that the school needed it more than anything else. And you just got to have a little bit of faith, day by day. Keep pushing forward, because that's the only thing that people need is a little bit of encouragement. If I can encourage somebody to push themselves, they can achieve more than they can possibly imagine.
Definitely. And you guys are showing that. So let's talk a little bit about the inspiration and the encouragement that you get from friendship, because I can tell from the two of you, you've been to school together for many years. How has your friendship helped you reach new heights?
Do you want to know something funny?
What's that, Matt?
Back when I first attended high school, we did not like each other.
That doesn't surprise me because best friends, they do tend to have that in common, but we didn't like each other.
Yeah.
We didn't.
I mean, he had his friends, I had mine, so it's like, but until Australia,
that's right, you went to Australia.
Yeah.
That's when we really began to have that, you are my brother now attitude.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's, in Australia, we really became, that was when the friendship really began to grow.
Took off.
And it was just really kind of like, even though we don't like each other, we gotta live together, you know, even though, you know, and we had our lives. He went to work at Cary Baptist College, and I worked with Mount Pleasant Baptist Church and the Lakeside Lightning. But we still had that, we had to have that close friendship because our parents and our families weren't there. So we had to.
You were each other's support.
Exactly.
So, well, we are running out of time, but I really wanted to thank you both very much for being here and inspiring me, inspiring the world, and just wanted to really say thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Yes,
it's
thank
been
you
an
very
honor.
much. Thank you.
Together, we make a difference, one story at a time. If you would like to find out more about World Wellness Education, please visit our website at worldwellnesseducation.org. Do you want to have more fun? Do you want to be instantly in a good mood? Do you want to feel better about your life? Feel more optimistic? A great way to do this is by listening to upbeat music. Music has a way of making all of life's problems go away by increasing our energy level and improving our feelings. Researchers have found that music does more than soothe the heart. It also relaxes the inner lining of the arteries. This widens the arteries, allowing blood to circulate more efficiently and lowers blood pressure. However, be careful to choose upbeat music. Music that is considered stressful will have the opposite effect. Have you ever had a song that you really liked come on the radio? In seconds you feel better. Your toes are tapping, your fingers are snapping, and your heart is lighter. It is amazing and so easy to change your mood. Our associations to music are very strong. I am sure there are many songs that make you remember special events in your life. Just think about what happens when you hear one of your favorite songs. What memories come flooding back to you? Researchers have proven that music has therapeutic effects for a variety of conditions. According to the American Cancer Society, music can help relieve the aches and symptoms of someone with a chronic disease while enhancing the patient's joy and general well-being. Music therapy also eases the pains of chemotherapy, lowers anxiety, lifts a depressed person's spirit, and even helps insomniacs get a good night's sleep. So download some of your favorite music today onto your iPod and have fun. This information is not meant to be medical advice. No action or inaction should be taken solely on the contents of this information. Instead, you should consult appropriate health professionals on any matter relating to your health and well-being. Thanks for joining us. Remember, you can catch this show each week on Lakefront TV. To find out more about World Wellness Education, check out our website at worldwellnesseducation.org. We'll see you next time.
This episode of World Wellness Education is made possible by a production grant from the Milhorn Law Firm. Have you or a loved one ever suffered an injury due to the negligence of another? Then it's time to turn to a law firm that you know and trust, one with a record of client satisfaction and integrity. Hello, my name is Ryan Milhorn, and the Milhorn Law Firm has been representing personal injury clients in the Central Florida area for over 20 years. Our attorneys live in this community and are very proud to call it home. The Milhorn Law Firm, the law firm you know and trust.